What's going on, Capricorn? Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal week so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Capricorn, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Let me tell you why, Cap. Because it's your general energy weekly spread. Sidebar. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to do that opener for the weekly spreads. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, like I'm thinking maybe just like confetti or just something wild, Capricorn. Stay tuned for that. Maybe not that over the top. Maybe I'll do a flip. Nature my problem. Let's get back to you. Because with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the shenanigans with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cap. So with this spread, I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we'll get some tarot to get some details on the mix. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case if you all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links from them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Capricorn. Ooh, okay, we're on a journey here, because you got the second card of Aquarius here, which is the Labyrinth card. And with this card, this is a card of loss, delayed, complex, contemplate, it's complicated, going within, spiritual quest, deliberation, long way home, problem to solve, catch-22, and a situation to sort out. And so, you know, Capricorn, when this card pops up, you know, this, if we have been feeling in this place of just like not sure where life is, like where life is going, you know, like we've just been sort of maybe, as things have been feeling kind of aimless here as of late, then that's a great time for you to be going within, you know, to be asking ourselves these questions. Maybe go out for a walk, maybe, or maybe do something creative, you know, maybe work with your hands, do some woodwork, maybe some painting, maybe we're doing some, maybe do graphic design, exterior design, whatever, something to get you in a Zen type of place to really get you connected with your higher self, and you know, or however you connect with the source, Capricorn. And one thing too, just be mindful of what we're telling ourselves while we're on this journey, because something where, you know, if we tell ourselves we're lost, then, and I know this may seem a little extreme or maybe a little extra, but it's like, you know, when we tell ourselves we're lost, then that's all we stay is lost. But if we tell ourselves, we kind of change the narrative a little bit, it's just like, you know, I'm on a self-discovery, you know, I may not be sure where I'm going, but I'm going to find out, you know, like keeping that. Even if we don't believe it at the time, you know, Capricorn, it's one of those things. If we tell ourselves, because you believe, you know, if we told ourselves enough that we're lost, you believe in that. If that's something that's resonating with you, so why can't we believe the alternative? You know, the opposite of that, and see where that leads you. You know, because that will help you. You know, if we have any sort of like problems when you have any sort of problems in the future that you need solving, or any situations that need to get sorted out, because you've taken that time to find your highest vibration, now you can see things from a higher perspective. And then when you come across things like different obstacles and stuff, you're able to tackle them with gusto. Because here's the thing, if anybody, I talk about this all the time, Capricorn, you are the achievers of the Zodiac. I mean, that's a strong statement to say that whatever you set your mind to, you're going to get it done. How we're going to get it done, you know, it might be, that's what we need to ask ourselves. But it's just know that when you set your mind on something, even when it comes to self-growth, because I mean, what a great thing to set that achiever mind to figure out, you know, what would raise your vibration through the roof. What does fulfillment look like for you? You know, how can you build this emperor or this empire, you know, of whatever that, and then whatever that looks like. Look at that. I already got you building empires, Capricorn. But we really are just in a very reflective state as well, just with where how the energies are looking this year, you know, with Mercury retrograding in all of the earth signs, and then you have Pluto that's going to be moving back into your sign Capricorn on the 11th of June. Will be there through the pretty much until we get to Aquarius season. So we're in a very kind of spiritual time right now, and you know there's a lot of complex questions and complicated things that we need to ask ourselves and get figured out, but that's the beauty of the journey, because there's going to be growth at the end of that, and who knows what that'll look like. But let's get some tarot on this. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, dang. All right, Capricorn. See that's what I'm talking about. So you got the Wheel of Fortune up right here, but then we got the Lovers, and then we have the World card. Ooh, the World card, your ruler, Saturn, in reverse here. And so, you know, Capricorn, if we've been finding ourselves, like I was saying, if we've been finding ourselves maybe kind of stuck in a cycle right now where we're still figuring out what direction that we're going in. The Lovers, normally this is just your higher self. When the Lovers just comes out in general, this is your higher self. For me, if your higher self just kind of winking at you. But when popping up in reverse, his higher self's like, hey, what are we doing? Is this how you want your world to look? Is this what we're feeling right now? And if not, how can we change that direction? How can we get things back on track, you know? And when we do make that, because when we think about this stuff, Capricorn, like, you know, Wheel of Fortune, the world, it's all about cycles. You know, they're going to be, even when we're going towards things that fulfill us, you know, that 10 of Pentacles, you know, Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Cups, there's going to be challenges along the way, because that's just the balance of life. You know, that's how the world is, this realm works. But when we learn to work with those energies, Capricorn, and really learn to kind of tune into, again, to yourself, make that connection with your higher self, it makes this journey, it feels, even in the tougher times, you're able to navigate this a lot smoother. And then the reasons that you're going through this stuff as well really kind of pays off, you know, really reveals itself. And that's where the abundance is at, because Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, that's all Jupiter wants you to do. In order for you to learn something, we have to go through some stuff. We have to see where there's an area that we're weak at. And that's what Saturn is about too. I mean, you got two very abundant planets here, Jupiter and Saturn. It's just that where Jupiter is just very giving, Saturn has some guidelines that he wants to follow. You know, he's got some what do I want? Like terms and conditions and things that before we can get to this abundance. But Saturn will can reward just as abundantly as Jupiter, but it's just we gotta keep that tenacity, Capricorn. And if we do find ourselves in a tough spot there, you know, this could be something as well with Gemini energy, the Lovers. This could be if we are being kind of stuck in a cycle and things, you know, communicate this stuff. Maybe someone can provide a different perspective to help you, maybe to get that key that you need to get yourself out of like a catch-22 or something along those lines. But it can be complicated, you know, Capricorn. That's yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the fact that you got major arcanas coming out here on the bad, higher self has got your back even when you don't feel like it, Capricorn. But know that you're going to get this figured out. It's just another hurdle. You've gotten it figured out before, because here's the thing too. When we think about these adversities that happens in our lives, it's like, it's the same stuff that we've been going through when we were a child. It's just, it takes on it may seem a lot more. It's just because we've been learning a lot more. We've been growing and expanding. And the universe, Saturn, Jupiter, is not going to throw more. And listen, I know how this may sound a little cliche, but they're not going to throw more than you can handle, Capricorn. It's just believing that you're knowing, not even just knowing that of course you got this, you know? All right, I'm with it. Let's get some tea and let's get some more. Interesting. All right, so you got the 5th card of Virgos here, which is the headache card. And with this card, this is a card of poor health, dis-ease, illness, illness, unpleasant, crisis, emergency, body signal, needing self-care, problem, root cause, annoying, disagreeable, something's off, pain, and underlying conditions. And you know, Capricorn, you know, because you are such hard workers, and you know, I admire that about you all. When Capricorn gets it, Capricorn's going to get it done. But we want to be mindful of getting things. We got to pay attention to the body, you know, and listening to, and listen, this isn't medical advice, but if we've noticed that maybe the body has been, maybe you've been feeling a little low energy, or maybe we've been feeling kind of stiff, or a little maybe burnt out, exhausted, whatever that's looking like, make sure that we are taking time to self-care, you know, and that's in every aspect, not even just like your physical health. This is talking about your mental health, your spiritual health, all of that, Capricorn. It all pieces, it's all part of that all necessary pieces of the puzzle, because if one is being neglected, it's going to affect all 3 of them, you know, in some way, shape, or form. So just paying attention to those signs, and if we're noticing that we're really at our limit, you know, we need a moment to just withdraw, go within, find out, recalibrate, then let's do that. Because then when we take those times and pause, Capricorn, that's where we can really find the underlying conditions of things. And you know, if something's feeling off, how do we tweak this and adjust this and get the wheel of fortune going back in our direction? But you know, just something to think about with this energy, because, and you know how I was talking about with Mercury getting ready to be, you know, retrograding on all the earth signs. I feel like for everybody, but for the earth signs in particular, it is thinking about how we are working in this realm. You know, how is this vessel doing? How is, like, you know, our just every aspect of us, you know, how's our foundation holding up, you know? And if we have been building on just really kind of unsturdy ground, then we got to figure out how we can just change that. But let's get some tarot on this. Look, all right, keeping the major arcanas going, I see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got the Strength card here and the 5 of Wands upright, and then we have the 3 of Swords in reverse here. And you know, Capricorn, with the 5 of Wands, this is Saturn in Leo, and if we've been feeling in a way where if we've been feeling at conflict, whether this is with others or maybe, you know, if the body's been feeling in conflict, it's asking ourselves, what can we do to remedy this situation here with the 3 of Swords? Because if we stay in that place of dis-ease, poor health, you know, neglecting ourselves, that's going to affect your vitality, your strength, your stamina, all of that. And it's just going to, you know, it just gets us into this state of just, you know, not operating at our finest. Because here's the thing, you know, when we think about taking this time for our health, you know, I feel like we've been, or I remember hearing someone talking about, it's just like when you get to a certain age, it's just like you forget about sleeping, you know, it's just like once you're done an adult, you're just tired all the time. And it's just like, why does that have to be the narrative? Because that's no way. It's like we don't spend our childhood just racking up sleep so that we can just crank the rest of the time. No, it's finding a balance, you know, finding that harmony, you know, and not even just like when we're taking this time to self-care, guilt-free self-care, not thinking about all the things that you could be doing, and you know, like not brainstorm, we're not relaxing in the bubble bath and doing slides, you know, putting up PowerPoints and things. No, it's really just unplugging, saying that, put it all on the side. This is a self-care Capricorn day. And you know, that's probably going to be that's going to be something probably real important for your Capricorn too, because depending on where your Cap placements are at, Venus, one of my Venus represented by the Empress, she's all about self-care and checking in with the security of you, and with her being in Cancer, that's going to form oppositions with your signs. But with oppositions, it gives you a choice. We can either stay in this place of tension, or we can work on improving this stuff here, getting back to where our energy levels are feeling high, where we're feeling. And Capricorn, speaking of Leo, we are in Mars just entered Leo not too long ago, and we're in a state of having more fun and doing more joyful things for ourselves. And what better way to put yourself back and get yourself back feeling good than maybe allowing yourself some time for some play, for some recreations or some hobbies, interests, things along those lines. So just something to think about there. But okay, no more. Okay, dope. Never mind, Cap. No, I think that's all I got there for you. All right, let's get one more oracle on this mix. Alrighty, last little bit here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you have the 5th card of Aquarius, which is the Pillory card. This is an interesting card. This is a card of open dishonor, humiliation, finding fault, punishment, abusive, shutdown, caught, public ridicule and mockery, nowhere to run, censure, serving time, and vulnerable. And Capricorn, with this card, I almost feel that I'm strongly kind of getting like the abusiveness and the punishment. I don't feel like we're in necessarily something like those lines. I feel like it's more so if we feel like we can't deliver, when we get to that moment where we do need to pause or do need to take a moment to take care of ourselves, we could possibly, may take it as if it resonates, but maybe some of us might be in this place of where we are noticing that, like, crap, I need a pause, but it's just like, gosh, why can't I push more? Like being really harsh on yourself. We just want to be careful with that, because that's going to keep us stuck, Capricorn, because it's a balance, finding that we can be working towards, Wheel of Fortune and abundance and things, but sometimes working on that is taking a break. It's not just all just working and cranking all the time. It's creating and relaxing and again, finding a balance between the obligations and your desires, your passions. And if we can get that kind of work smart, play smart energy, man, I mean, how you will show up and show out, I feel like would be incredible, Capricorn. But I'm also kind of getting with this, when this card does pop up, I will say that for just in general, be thinking about just how we are kind of like presenting ourselves to the public in a sense, like just be, not to say that I feel like, you're like that you're going to be indecent or anything, but the example that I think of with the Pillory is like, how you have those, you might have an office party, they got, they're like free booze and everyone's like, woo, but then we got that one person like, woo, and it's like, oh, that was a noise, but, and that's probably how we looked at them too, but how that next day, like they made it went a little too hard, and the next thing you know, you're the party animal of the office. Just something along, like that's more so the areas that I'm talking about. Just be aware of your public image. But also, Capricorn, if we are in some sort of maybe like a relationship, whether this be in love and family, friends, or even like a business thing where there's a lot of, ridicule, mockery, just shutting down your ideas, not being able to express yourself, then how do we remove ourselves from those environments, and or maybe put up boundaries, or what do those conversations look like? Because if that's the case, it's putting you at detriment, where we got to put up those boundaries. And I feel like, especially when I'm thinking about just with work, and again, this is not me telling you to quit your job or anything, but we can put up with a lot of stuff with work because we think about, well, don't want to necessarily look for another job. I got a good thing here, I'll kind of ride this out, get my cash in, get my retirement and things along those lines. But it's just like, is that really worth compromising your mental health? You know, where it's like, sure, okay, your financial stuff is looking solid. That's dope. Your pimp game strong, but you know, it's the rest of it. You know, it does catch up to you in the long run, and then it affects, and eventually is going to even start getting into that wheel of fortune, start affecting your abundance. So you just want to be aware of that, Capricorn. But let's get some tarot on this. Okay, so you have the Seven of Wands, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles up right here. And so, again, I feel that if we've been under any sort of like criticisms, you know, whether this be from other people or if this has been from ourselves, how can we work on changing that? Do we need to maybe put out some resumes, you know, maybe think about changing that kind of environment? If this is something where, if this is another, you know, if this is like people and things, do we need to put up boundaries, conversations that we need to have? Or is this something where we need to work on maybe ourselves, you know, working on like positive affirmations, you know, and encouraging things, you know, something to get that confidence back up there, you know? When we just talk about that Mars and Leo, and you know what, seeing all this Leo energy here too, I mean, the strength, Five of Wands, Seven of Wands, you know, again, this may be a great time. I mean, it's always a great time for you, Capricorn, but I feel like especially with where the energies are at, a great time for you to do some creation, you know, to just like allow yourself those moments to, because I like where, you know, the Eight of Pentacles, yeah, she is getting to work, you know, as far as like building a routine and things, but she's also manifesting stuff. You know, she's in her creative state right now. And I feel like when we get in that place, it brings everything all together, and just like the flow just starts going a lot smoother here, Cap. So yeah, just something to be mindful of, you know, and pay attention to these things and see how we can make these adjustments. All right, last little bit here, Cap. Okay, nice. All right, we got the Hierophant up right here, and then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. And let's switch back over. Because I feel like with the Six of Cups here, if we've just been stuck in a place of like dis-ease and things, you know, I feel like it's time to change up the narrative, change how we've been just operating up until now. Just if it seems like that maybe we've just been kind of in a rut, it's been sort of the same old stuff. And like I was saying earlier, if this has been a lot that you're dealing with and we're not sure what that, like, you know, been a lot to process, the Six of Cups can be for me also. You know, share this stuff, you know, talk about these things, you know, don't try not to keep those concerns and things bottle up inside. But there is just like this emphasis. I feel like, you know, if this has been what's going down, pause for a second. Because this is Taurus's card. Let's pause for a second and really kind of check in with connect with the body, you know, because Taurus is a sign of the senses, one of the things that their sign covers, and, you know, your five senses. And when we're present with our bodies like that and paying attention to these signals, then that really helps strengthen our sixth sense, you know, really kind of help connect with higher self. So yeah, I really feel like, you know, just maybe over this, honestly, for like the rest of the year is what the energy is kind of giving me. Really kind of connect with yourself, find that balance, and be present in when you're noticing these things. Be very present in these realizations, and really be intentional with like, what do we want to do next, and know that this growth and things getting back in that routine may take a cycle or two. So be patient with yourself, you know, but there's going to be some enlightenment, you know, some divine wisdom that I feel like is going to come from this. So just just something to ruminate on there, Cap. But I think I'm going to leave that there. And if something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, because this is, I mean, we really are in a kind of a reflective and really kind of an abundant time here. Because I mean, speaking of, Jupiter just entered into Taurus not too long ago, and that's going to be forming a trine with your signs there, Taurus. So that's going to be some nice, easy energy for you as far as like abundance in terms and like far opportunities. But sometimes when we're in that state of just like when the energies aren't quite feeling harmonious, we can miss out. The opportunities can be, I didn't want to say miss out, the opportunities get harder to see, you know what I mean? So just something I'm getting back into your reading. Share this with someone, and then have all these people subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified when I release videos each week. And then this might be something, a little tool for you while you're going through this spiritual quest. I'm on this meditation app, been working with it for years, Insight Timer, and I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post like positive messages and affirmations, encouraging messages, talk about your story, just anything to just raise that vibration. And then definitely as the group grows, you can do things like different schedule different meditations and stuff, and maybe we'll do something like healing with the connecting with your higher self with the Hierophant, or who knows, loving yourself with the Lover's Eye. We're spitballing right now, but all that information, Cap, is in the description box. And then the last thing, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, Capricorn, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. All right, so you got the Seven of Swords in reverse here. And while I'm shuffling for your Oracle card, yeah, okay. Looks like I don't gotta shuffle that hard. But with the Seven of Swords, I really feel like that this is saying, this can be a card of deception and things, but with it being in reverse, it's like, let's be honest with ourselves. If we've noticed some things that have been feeling out of whack, if we know we've been pushing too hard, if there are relationships that aren't working with us, or, this could even be like maybe there's a, even like a living situation possibly, or however if there's just something that's not working, let's get eyes on that and figure out what we can do to do some healing. Because I love that. You got the perception card here. And it's like how I was talking about earlier, we can either, how you view this growth and taking this time to heal and things is going to be it's going to really matter. Your thoughts are powerful, Cap. And it's like how I was saying, it's like we could either see this in a state of that we're lost, or that things aren't going our way, we're just always down, like we could keep lowering that vibration, or we can change the narrative. And where, again, it may not be, you may not believe it at first, when I talk about like, maybe trying the positive affirmations, encouraging things like along those lines. But here's the thing. You believe Three of Swords, and we've all done it. We've all got caught up in like that sort of depressive, sort of melancholy state, but that's not who we are. That's just what we're experiencing right now. You learn, my sun sign's in Cancer. Take a note from a Cancerian. It's just what we're experiencing at this time. It doesn't define us, and we can get through this. We can get to where we're just feeling abundant, where we can be surrounded by love and be surrounded by, we can flip all this stuff. Just because the stuff, things show up in reverse and things, it's just like, it's yours for the taking. It's just we gotta change the narrative, change the perception, do a paradigm shift. And when we do, Capricorn, watch how that vibration raises. And even when harder situations come, you tackle them with more ease. It's just like where they still suck. Like, don't get me wrong, they're still not great, but what you become is great. That's what makes it worth it in the end. So I like that, Capricorn. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there. Mind your energies. Make sure we're getting some rest. Taking care, checking our situations, and raise your vibration through the roof, because that's all Saturn wants. You put in that work. Saturn's gonna be like, bam, get it. And I will get you. Where'd my mouse go? On the next one. Later.